Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. I am Mike Noble at Mike Noble08 on Twitter, and up there in Champaign, Illinois, is my co-host at Caleb Noble08. Look at
We're
that!
plugging
Look how we
we're
worked
plugging the
out.
Twitters already.
Do what?
We're plugging the Twitters already.
I mean, I feel like we might as well go ahead and start with those. Look here, I am joining you from the 504 down here in New Orleans, and it is raining like a son of a bitch. So if we do experience any difficulties or you hear a very loud crack of thunder or lightning or which cracks? Lightning cracks, thunder doesn't crack. Is that right? No, you hear thunder. Either way, you know what I'm saying. We were sitting out on the front porch, and I thought all three of us were going to die when it hit. Like it was close. So here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, at least it's not a hurricane yet, so you're good for now.
Well, evidently, no one bothered to tell me that hurricane season doesn't end until the end of November. I thought it was like about a 28-day stretch. It's not. It's like 4 months.
You'll know in advance if a hurricane's coming. I think.
Well,
let's
let's
they don't
hope
just pop
because
up inland in New Orleans.
it seems to not be the case. It's not like a tornado, so it seems to
No,
be
it's
okay.
not.
For those who don't know, Caleb is coming down Friday. His first plane ride. Look at that. He's become a big boy up there in Champaign, Illinois.
I'm contemplating just not going.
You have to come down. We're going to the Pelicans Warriors on Monday night.
Yeah, if I make it, then we'll go.
I swear to Christ, if Golden State comes down here again and sits Curry, Draymond, and Wiggins again, I'm going to be so pissed. That's what happened last time they were here.
They won't. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. If they do, whatever. Say, hey, we'll see Zion and Brandon Ingram and all the boys. It'll be pretty exciting. I'm excited. Massive NBA fan since I was 8 years old. Never been to an NBA game.
Me either.
Like I'm one of the lone people in my friend group. Outside of shout out to Rob Wallace, massive NBA fan, and D Pagel, also big NBA fan. But outside of that, like anybody that like I go to the ranch house or I go to any of the bars or even people I worked with, everybody hates the NBA for some reason. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm addicted to it. It's a great game. I know we're here to talk about baseball, but I think it's fair to say the NBA is in really good shape right now. Best commissioner in sports.
Yeah, that's true. I like the NBA, but it's my fourth favorite of the four sports.
It is
sports in America.
Really, it is my second favorite.
Does that surprise you that it's below hockey and football for me?
It surprises me that it's below football. Yeah.
I know there's something about watching Sunday football on Sundays that is special to me. So I think that's probably why.
I agree.
Let's get into baseball because that's what we're all here for. That's what we care about.
Sorry.
It's baseball's 365 on this podcast. So actually, well, we can say the Blues are back. They beat the best team in hockey the other day. So fingers crossed.
So much for getting to baseball. Yeah, I don't know. They're dead. They're terrible.
They're not dead. They just won 2 in a row, and they beat the best team in hockey.
After they lost like 8 in a row.
Who cares? If they beat the Colorado Avalanche tonight, the season's fully back on, so we'll see.
One last New Orleans thing I did want to tell you today. Emma and my wife Amy and I went to Joey K's, probably your favorite restaurant down here in New Orleans. Guy who brought us our food, really super nice guy. He goes, I was wearing this hat. He goes, are you a Canuck? And I was like, no, actually not. And he's like, then why did you break out the Toronto Blue Jays spring training hat? I was like, shout out to you for knowing what the hat was. He's like, oh, diehard baseball fan, love it. He's like, so I had to explain, love the hat. People always think it's a Toronto Maple Leafs hat, even though there's the Blue Jay right here, but on the front there's the Maple Leaf. He's like, no, I love it. He's from Chicago, really super cool dude, but no one ever knows that this is a spring training hat from 2 years ago. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean,
I should have pumped her. What I'm doing is I'm laying the groundwork to get Joey K's to sponsor the pod. And either
Joey K's
let us do a pod from down there or just give me one free roast beef debris po' boy a month.
Joey K's might be the best restaurant in America, but so we won't plug them anymore. Sponsor us, please, Joey K's.
Right. If you're listening, Joey.
So you want to start with the Rookie of the Years that were announced today?
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. Massive. You called them. Well, you called one of them, and then you literally called the National League one because you picked 8 guys in a week.
That's true. I flipped it,
and eventually one of them hit.
No, I flipped it after Michael Harris started performing better, and I stayed true with that all the way through September, October, and now to hit November. So
you're literally. I used to teach with this guy, nice enough guy, but I used to teach with this guy who would literally, I think, bet every football game on both sides. I don't think he cared that he won or lost, so that when it hit, he could say, "I got it right." Do you know what I mean? You pick every outcome. I feel like that's what you did with the National.
That's not really what I did, though. I mean, what we did.
Exact quote. It's Spencer Strider, hands down. Within 5 days, it's Michael Harris Jr.
What we were doing was we were analyzing as the season went how the awards changed. Seasons don't stay the same throughout the entire season.
Is he a junior or a third?
He's a second.
Second. So what is the difference between a second? Is it the middle name?
You just got to pick.
You get. So when he was born, they said, "Hey, Mike, you want to be a junior?"
When you're writing on the birth certificate, instead of putting junior, they put the second.
So because I thought it had something to do with the middle name. It does not.
I don't know. I believe not. I don't know. Todd Gurley is also a second. I've always thought that's cooler than junior. No offense to any juniors out there. But
no, I don't care either way. Anyway, shout out to Michael Harris Jr. or the second and J-Rod. Look, two of the best young players we have in this game. You and I both massive fans.
Center fielders.
You called the J-Rod. I happen to deal him away in fantasy, so there is that. Love it. I'm very excited for you and I talk about this a lot on here. Very excited for the future of the game. Those are two reasons why right there.
Yeah, I mean, they're both absolute studs. Both of them jumped straight through from AA to Major League Baseball last year at some point. J-Rod did it before this out of spring training, and Michael Harris did it during the season. Two of the best stars in baseball. You just watch if they play your team, which they will next year because they play every team. Yep. Just watch how they play. They impact the game every night. Every single night they do something. We're like, wow. Like, I remember Michael Harris when they came here in that series to Busch Stadium. He had like 7 hits. The dude was just absolutely ridiculous. He was hitting lefties like he was facing a righty. He makes every play in center field. I still think he should have won the Gold Glove in center field.
One of the things
best stars in baseball.
One of the things I love about both of these guys, but also shout out to Scott Service and to oh my God, Snitker, Brian Snitker. Shout out to those guys. When Harris comes up, and you've talked about this before, hopefully maybe here in St. Louis we get another guy who jumps from AA to the major leagues and is in the Rookie of the Year conversation here. But Harris, when he gets up here, he's hitting 9th in that lineup, which, he's a rookie. Meaningful games in September and in October, that dude was hitting 3rd. J-Rod comes up. Scott Service put him in the top 5. Next thing you know, he's leading off. One of the most dynamic leadoff hitters in baseball, he and Ronald Acuna Jr. And Mookie Betts, obviously. But where I'm going. That's what I love those two guys. They're young, they're dynamic. They seem to get it. You know what I mean? Like they seem to get the game. They seem to get the fans. They seem to get everything that comes with being a superstar. And when those guys do that, they've got me. That's what Bryce Harper did to me at 17 years old. So what I'm saying? Like
I've got a few thoughts on both of them. One, it tells you everything you need to know about the personality and the work ethic of those two. That in the middle of their rookie season, both organizations felt that it was a good move to give them contract extensions. So that tells you everything you need to know about those two guys as people. Correct. But I want to give a shout out to Scott Service for J-Rod. He was really, really bad the first month of the season. No one really talks about it. As the team was, he was too. And Scott Service stayed with him the entire time. Some things I wish the Cardinals would do a better job of. And he turned it around because he saw the talent and he saw the work ethic, and it paid off. So I want to give credit to Scott Service. They could have panicked and sent him down. They gave him time, and he flourished into, I don't know, top 20 player in baseball right now, probably top 30. Like he's in that conversation.
You can make whatever list you want, but he's in the conversation of not only future superstar, but one of my favorite guys to watch night in and night out.
He signed one of my favorite contracts in baseball because it kind of covers the team's ass if he doesn't do what they think he's going to do, and if he does do, and if he wins MVPs and turns into the next Griffey of Seattle. He's going to get paid $400 million as he deserves. So great for both those guys. And let's shout out Spencer Strider. Incredible year. One of the best strikeout years of all time since Randy Johnson with the Diamondbacks. Shout out to him. Brendan Donovan, our utility man. He had a really good interview on MLB Tonight if you guys want to go watch that during the awards show. And then in the other league, it was Adley Rutschman and Bobby Witt Jr., right?
Yeah, and Stephen Kwan was on that list too.
Stephen Kwan, so Bobby Witt was not top 3.
Yeah, but Adley Rutschman got a first place. Did you see Adley Rutschman got a first place vote?
He had the highest defensive WAR of all catchers in baseball.
Yeah.
Maybe Trevino might have been higher, but he had maybe second.
That's a guy that you and I have been watching since he was at Oregon State, and since he was a freshman, since he walked on, like not a walk on, he was on scholarship, but since he walked on that campus. And they went on that run where College World Series and everything else. We were like, this guy is going to be something. But my favorite thing about sports, I think, well, outside of just being a fan of a team, is when you see a guy with the burden of next superstar and he becomes it. Do you know what I mean? And so, J-Rod, Michael Harris, honestly, didn't know much about Michael Harris at all coming into
He
this
wasn't really on
season.
the radar
2 years
of
ago, he was
anyone.
playing high school baseball, right? 2 years ago, he was playing high school baseball. So that's on me. Didn't know a lot about him. Didn't know. Only thing I knew about Vaughn Grissom was it was obviously Marquise Grissom's kid. Knew J-Rod, knew Adley Rutschman from the 3 years of college. But I just love when you put a lot of pressure on these kids. That's hard. And then for
Hard
them
to
to
live up
live
to.
up to it, it's my favorite thing. My
So
favorite thing.
now that you said that, I just realized 2 of the 3 finalists for Rookie of the Year this year, because it wasn't Witt, it was Quan, were played on the same Oregon State team. So that's kind of cool.
Correct. Yep.
Stephen Quan, I believe, was their leadoff hitter. Sorry.
What a factory Oregon State baseball has become, by the way.
Yeah, because Nick Madrigal was also on that team. Sorry, I was coughing.
Yep.
So
led the world in hits for like 3 years.
Adley Rutschman was walked with the bases loaded, and Trevor Larnack also on that team, who plays for the Twins. So
I'm sure there's more that we're forgetting. Like, to be fair,
there were some pitchers in there, but those
there
are
a bunch because there are a lot of guys in MLB played Oregon State. But yes, I think that's awesome. I'm geeked for both of those guys. Like I said, to turn this sort of into the Cardinals, because that's who we do focus on, obviously. Man, I agree. How awesome would it be to see Jordan Walker take that same leap? At 21, he'll be 21 maybe when the season starts. Might still be 20. Give Nolan Gorman every day at bats at 22. Let's just see what you made a great tweet today, and I retweeted it on our page. As far as everybody out there screaming for a left-handed bat, guys, we have Nolan Gorman. Let's give him 500 at bats, and everybody's so scared of that. And I understand he strikes out. I do. I get it. All right, that's the way the game is played today. Tony Gwynn's not playing anymore. Ichiro's not playing anymore. And there are guys obviously who strike out less. But what if we gave Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman 500 at bats, and just not get too high with the highs and not get too low with the lows? It's all about living right here, living right here, and that's the same thing with everything in life. Let's see what we got.
My biggest thing is allow the young kids to live there, to find that medium in the big leagues. One of the biggest problems I have is the car. So my tweet was that people are screaming for left-handed bats, and then at the same breath saying they want to trade Nootbaar and Gorman. Who, by the way, go look at people around baseball's opinions on Lars Nootbaar and see that you don't want to trade that guy because everybody's in love with him. So I said you might have the 2 guys left-handed bats you need, making league minimum on your roster.
So also, to be fair, to add to what you said, go around the league and listen to what they say about Nolan Gorman.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he has the best batted ball statistics in baseball. Well, one of them, especially from a kid that's 22 years old. So my biggest problem with all of this stuff is there's going to be a lot of offseason chatter. The Cardinals have some needs to be filled. So obviously that's going to come with maybe having to ship some guys off. My problem is if the Cardinals are going to be this draft, develop organization that they claim to be the draft and develop organization and supplement around that, then you've got to let the guys you draft and develop at the big league level. You have to. Yeah. And there's no one in the organization other than Jordan Walker that really has the upside of Nootbaar and Gorman right now. So let those guys develop at the big league level.
It's one of the things that I've been very critical about with the Cardinals is we haven't developed a hitting star since Albert Pujols, 21 years. I mean, I'm not talking Matt Carpenter, really good hitter. Don't get me wrong, really good hitter out of TCU. He reinvented himself there, lost a ton of weight. He did everything. He was a very good all-star. But I'm talking about the elite, the guys you see on the posters. You know what I mean? Or that ESPN is highlighting.
The 2 guys we just talked about.
Right. And what gets me is I feel like maybe we had those guys throughout the last 21 years, but we have given up on so many of them so quickly. It's I remember Colton Wong talking about it. Randall Grichuk has talked about it, that when they got called up here and had 2 straight 0 for 4s, they knew either they were sitting or they were going back to Memphis. And I understand it's a results-oriented business. I do. But sometimes with young kids, like you talk about with Scott Service and J-Rod, you just put them in there and you let them go. And Seattle did that with Kelenic last year until they couldn't anymore. And maybe there does come a point. But with Wong, he talked about it for sure, that if he had two or three straight games where he didn't get a hit, he knew he wasn't playing and somebody else was. And we were playing like guys who shouldn't be playing over him. And I feel like we've done that with the Tommy Phams, with the Grichuks, with the Colton Wongs. with the Rosarenas. Like, we never really gave him a fair shot. We never gave Adolis Garcia a fair shot. I'm not saying we should have. Like, I'm just saying we have developed guys who have been way above league average at the major league level, but we never really gave them 500 at bats here at the major leagues, except Dylan Carlson. Like, to be fair, we did do that with Dylan Carlson. We did. Like,
I do think Ollie did a much better job last year of sticking with Gorman and guys like that through rough patches than Mike Matheny and Mike Shildt did. To be quite honest,
I agree with that 100%.
So I do think Ollie has a better has his finger on the pulse a little bit better than those two of what he should do in those situations. Because let's be honest, Ollie was a player that was not very good in the minor leagues. He probably knows what guys need. And he's also very smart, and Skip Schumacher did a great job with that as well.
One thing that I'm also intrigued about, because you brought this up on the last pod, was the importance of having, and when I said it's not important to have a major league hitter, you knew where I was going with that, but having a guy like Matt Holliday there, who was a young major league player, who did come up and had success with color.
That's exactly what I said.
So what I'm saying is, no, you didn't let me finish. I'm intrigued to see how he has conversations maybe with Ollie if Gorman does go through an early 0 for 20 stretch, or Walker, or Donovan, or Carlson, or fill in the blanks. Do you know what I mean? I'm intrigued to see how that plays out, because I am of the thought process. Give Walker next year. I know we have to see what he does, but I think he's right. I mean, what else does this guy have to prove? He's going to go to AAA and hit 340. Like, that's what he's going to do, because that's what he's done everywhere, right? So I don't know why he's not going to do it there. And give Gorman every day at bats, and let's see what they've got.
I've got a few thoughts, because one thing I did want to bring up that escaped my mind about J-Rod. First player ever to earn his team a draft pick. Awesome that has been implemented. So for those of you who don't know, in the new CBA, if you call up your guy on opening day and he's in top 100 prospect ratings, like as a consensus top 100 prospect, your team can earn a draft pick if he wins Rookie of the Year. So that's great. I mean, think back to Chris Bryant. If that would have been an option, would the Cubs have handled him differently? Maybe. So is there going to be a fact? I mean, we know the Cardinals love their draft picks, especially with Randy Flores just putting on a clinic in drafting lately. That may play a factor into Jordan Walker for them.
Right.
He is a top 100 prospect in every list. I do want to talk about the outfield real quick, just for a second, because it's something that I've been thinking of a lot, and I want to get it out there. What's intriguing to me about we need a bat. A lot of people are saying, and I agree to an extent. A lot of people think we need in the outfield. Would you be opposed? And I know we want Jordan Walker opening day. We do. To O'Neill, Carlson, Nootbaar, and seeing which of those two take a job, and say Jordan Walker's coming. So whichever one of you doesn't take a job, he will be here to replace you. And seeing how that experiment goes, and letting Gorman be the DH every day, and just kind of letting it sort itself out for a month. And then Walker, knowing Walker's right behind him. To get some at-bats at AAA as well, which is beneficial.
My concern is that Nolan Gorman's not going to be on this team next year. That's honestly my number one concern.
I don't think they're going to trade him for the people that – I think they're going to get a catcher, and I don't think they trade him for a catcher. I really don't.
Okay, good. I like that then. I will tell you right now, my lineup, all right? Because obviously, my Mike Trout love, but
for
we're not
people currently on the team, or
no.
What?
Because here's what I'm saying. Okay, let me go. My leadoff hitter next year is Brendan Donovan. Okay, he's hitting first. All right,
second base?
My number 2,
Playing second base.
Playing second base. My number 2 hitter is Tyler O'Neill in left field. All right, my number 3 hitter, we're going Goldie, Nolan. 5, we're going whatever catcher we bring in. Okay, whether that's Kirk or Murphy.
He's not batting 5th.
He's batting 6th.
6th or 7th.
Okay, then 5 is Nolan Gorman, if we're going to be honest.
Yep.
Okay, so whatever you want to do there. And then at the bottom, I'm going Walker, Carlson, Edman. That's how I'm going. That's how I'm running out my lineup.
Off of your starting lineup. He earned that spot over the other 2 you named.
Okay, so which one of those guys that I just talked about are you? So you're saying start Jordan Walker at AAA. Is that what you're saying?
Lars Nootbaar is starting in my outfield, and you can build the other 2 spots around him. He had a 788 OPS, and that's after his dreadful start. His first 80 at bats was not good, and he ended up with a 2.2 WAR in less than 300 at bats, a 788 OPS, which is 126 OPS plus, which by the way is right around Dylan Carlson's rookie year, and 14 home runs in 290 at bats.
Okay, so
You
what
give
are
him a
you
full season,
doing
that's
with? We
30
don't need. We
homers.
spent a lot of time on the Cardinals last time. We want to get into free agency. I know, but what? So what? What would you, with the Caleb Noble hat of GMs? What are you doing with Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman there? Because you only got so many spots.
I think I go into the year with it depends. If Jordan Walker forces the hand in spring training, Jordan Walker's gonna have to go and have a really good spring training for him to be on my opening day roster because that's not a guy you rush just to rush to the big leagues, in my opinion. So if
Okay.
because he will be there at some point this year, he'll be in the major leagues at some point. But if he goes in, struggles, and he needs to find some confidence, he goes down to AAA. If he comes in and he's a world beater, then yeah, he comes up because there's no reason to leave him down. But given that doesn't happen, say he has an okay spring training, like a lot of guys tend to do in this organization when they try to earn a spot. Gorman and Yepez, I'm looking at you. Um, O'Neill, Carlson, Nootbaar would be my outfield. Gorman would be DHing, and I'd let those 4 spots figure themselves out. And if any, and then at any sign of trouble, then Jordan Walker's there waiting to come up. And I think, but I would love to
Now,
see Jordan Walker up at opening day, though. I'm not going to say I don't want
with
that.
all that being said, that's not what it's going to look like. Because here's the thing: if you're going to spend $25 million, well, either Kirk costs you under $1 million, Jansen about the same thing, or Murphy costs you 3. So somebody else is going to be in that lineup that we're not talking about. Um, I don't know
I
what that looks like. I don't. I like that's the thing. It's impossible for us to say.
It's really
I would
tricky.
love to see Jordan Walker up here on the opening day
Me too.
lineup. I really would. For me, he has to go out and really
He has to earn
just
it.
be overmatched at the spring training level to not make a team.
Here's my
I
question for
get
you.
it.
Don't
I
you
don't know
think
what
you
else the
let
dude's
that
got to
guy go out
do.
there and try and earn it though? Like he is only 20 years old. If he goes out there and he has some struggles, you know, some experience at AAA just to get his confidence up wouldn't be a bad idea. I
I
think
get
if
it.
you're gonna have Jordan Walker making your outfield out of opening day, out of spring training, sorry, don't you have to ship off an outfielder?
Yes, probably.
Because you're not gonna start Tyler O'Neill on your bench. What's that do for you?
No, 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 no.
I
Nor
I
should
am
he.
interested as well though. We can get this is kind of getting a little deep into the weeds, but if Tyler O'Neill, if you want to try and keep that guy healthy and maximize his value, maybe 2 or 3 DH appearances a week isn't a bad idea, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I
So
get it. I get it. I don't want to limit his athleticism or his ability to play.
here's
Like
what I
he's
will
such a good
say.
outfielder. But what I would say is, I think a lot of people are snoozing on him. Everyone would say he's
Yeah,
trash. He was bad. Shut up. Like those people who say that can't take you. Nobody can take
wrong.
you seriously. All right. If you're saying Tyler O'Neill's not good, then you haven't watched this dude play baseball because he has a skill set that you could count him on 2 hands in baseball have. He is a legit 5-tool player. And the Cardinals haven't had a 5-tool player in a long fucking time that at this age. So I think a lot of people are really forgetting that if this dude's healthy and in the lineup, that's an absolute game
I
changer
mean, we
that
were
we
all
were
pining.
missing for a good
Yeah,
chunk of the last year.
we were all pining for him to be in on
Right.
the roster for the wild card round. He's a game changer, and we all know it.
Yep.
They're not. For those of you who think Tyler O'Neill's a trade candidate this offseason, he's not. I'll tell you that now. The
No.
reason I
No.
believe that, if he was and they were considering it, why would they be going through all the effort to change his workouts in
Agreed.
St. Louis? There's no reason for him to be. There's no if he struggles again after this year, then you get rid of him. And there's no harm, no foul. Right now, Tyler O'Neill is your best option in left field. He just is. And if he comes up and he struggles again,
2-time Gold Glove winner.
yeah. If he comes up and he's not doing well and he's struggling, once again, there's Jordan Walker, Carlson, Nootbaar. I love the options the Cardinals have right now in terms of
Same.
position players to the point to where that if they went out and just got a catcher, fill in the blank, and weren't trading Nolan Gorman, because I really hate that. I really just don't do it, please. If they go and get, I don't even know if it's Vasquez even. I would still like the potential of this team being really, really good because I think they have a lot of players that have not even touched their capability, and we haven't even mentioned Juan Yepez. So I don't know. I like where they're at.
Here's
And
the
where
other
I
thing.
this season.
You could be catching for the Cardinals next year, and the offensive production would be better.
No, wouldn't. Don't disrespect Yachty like that and say I'm better than him.
It wasn't. I'm not. I'm just saying he was literally statistically the worst offensive player in baseball.
And I'd be statistically the worst offensive player to ever live in Major League Baseball history.
Well, maybe we don't know.
No,
Hey,
not
hey,
maybe. It's definitely.
you do need to get out and maybe get some swings and see how that works. But either way, you were one of those rare people who hit better with a wood bat. I never understood that. Like I always made fun of those guys who came out to
but I was
practice,
in
who
Legion
came to
ball.
practice, like try out for us, and they bring out wood bat. I was like, put that up. You can't hit that. You were the anomaly.
I was in Legion ball facing potatoes. They were throwing up 72-mile-per-hour fastballs to me. That's why I was doing better with wood bat.
You hit those.
It had nothing to do with the fact that I had a wood bat. It had to do with I was facing 88 and then I went to facing 72 and it was way easier to me.
Okay, well that's fair. You did hit those 72-mile-an-hour taters pretty hard though. So
Yeah, there was
shout out to you.
72 down the middle.
All right. Anyway, yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think this is just so interesting. It's one of those things you and I've talked about. And I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over, but we have no idea. Like that's why me saying my lineup. No, that was Fugazi because we have no idea what this roster is even going to look at. As of now, 38 man. I assume that they're going to protect Connor Thomas, right? And then that means they have to protect one of the other guys. Was it is it how do you pronounce Peniagua? Obviously, who's the other Pagas or Pagas or
Pages, I believe Pages. I don't know how to say it. He's a really good catcher. Had a pretty good Arizona Fall League. They sent him there, so I wouldn't be surprised. Here's my thing with Peniagua. Those of you who don't know, the Rule 5 draft, if you select someone on the Rule 5 draft, they have to be on your Major League roster the next year, or you have to send them back. So you can't. They have to be on your roster the entirety of the first year you have them, the Major League roster. So Peniagua, young guy, didn't get and wasn't in high A. He was in high A for some of it. He was in rookie ball for some other of it. I don't think he gets selected in the Rule 5 drafts because I don't think anyone views him as a Major League ready pitcher.
Correct. Yeah, so and I think Kyle Reese was talking about that too.
Yeah, that might not be a guy you need to protect.
I went to high school with a Peniagua. I don't think it's any relation.
No, that's why I knew how to say his name. I'm surprised you didn't because of Artie.
Also, I know it's the other guy. I knew Peniagua. I didn't know the other guy. No. If it was Pagas or Pagas or that's what I was talking about.
Either. Okay, I thought you were saying
Peniagua, by the way, bread and water.
That's what it means?
Yeah. Pan is bread, E is and, agua is water. So my buddy who I went to high school with, his brother's Facebook or Twitter is his name and then bread and water.
Oh, that's funny.
Makes so much sense. Cool. I think his sister is too. Yeah,
you're in the free agency. Also, I will say before we get into that, some things to look for. You guys want left-handed bats. Diamondbacks looking to sell a couple left-handed bats. Jake McCarthy.
Yeah, Dalton Varsho.
Talked about Dalton Varsho. I would be shocked if they trade him, but you never know. They're the Diamondbacks.
Same.
But that'd be perfect because that's an outfield and a catching option for the Cardinals if they did that.
Right. Absolutely.
So those are absolutely. And another thing, this hasn't been rumored. This is just me looking around the league at catchers and teams that might want to look from to deal from a position of strength to get something else they might want on their team. The Braves have two catchers that both. I don't know if they're looking to maybe they want Contreras to be their full-time catcher next year, and they might look for a Darno move or maybe vice versa. Just saying, keep an eye on those guys to see if that develops into something. Just because I think it's very likely the Cardinals get a catcher that nobody's talking about right now because that's what they do. So keep an eye on those guys.
Starting the free agency, it's very, very right. I mean, it was perfect timing because this is what always happens with our podcast. We release it, and within 24 hours, something massively breaks. Rafael Montero, one of your guys that you wanted the Cardinals to go after, signs a 3-year deal with the Astros. And Robert Suarez, the guy who I said would be perfect here, signs a 3-year deal also with the Padres. Both of them got big money. 6 was it 6? Okay, I didn't know the years.
You got a bag.
Both of them got paid fatty. Shout out to them. Get those bags. Enjoy it. But those are two guys that are game changers that we would have loved to have had here. But I will say I saw a report that's one of the GMs today said that has kind of changed the entire free agent relief pitching market because of what those two guys got. So also, if I'm a relief pitcher right now, I'm like, hey, pay me. Let's go.
Edwin Diaz started that thing off. Good for those two teams. They wanted their guy back and they went out and they did it. They did it.
Yep.
For a better term, pussyfoot around it. The guy that I'm interested in, if we're talking about Cardinals free agency relief pitchers, and we don't have to get into this too much, but a guy to look out for is Craig Kimbrell. That's a guy I would think you can get for relatively cheap to come here and give him a chance for the 7th inning and see if he can take it. But I kind of want to get into the free agency picks we have. If you wanted to start doing that now,
can I just say one thing because you've been before we get into that, I do want to do that. But you've talked about what looks like potentially we saw Nick Anderson get signed or traded. Who fill me in again? I don't remember where he went.
Nick Anderson, he got a
from the Braves.
Minor league, got a split deal with the Braves. So if he's in the minor leagues, he makes a certain amount, and major leagues he makes a different amount.
With who?
The Braves.
With who though?
The Braves.
Okay, that's what I thought. Is Nick Anderson the local kid, right? St. Louis kid?
No, he played in a college league here, but he was not from here. No.
Okay, that's what it was. But also, two guys to look for. What is it? Is it Sean?
Armstrong.
and then Yarborough. I think those are two guys that I think are going to get moved, not on the free agent market. That could potentially. What will happen is they will fleece somebody and they will get some superstar. That's what'll happen.
The Rays are going to trade 4 to 5 guys in the next 24 hours. I think.
Yeah, feels like it.
So we'll see.
Feels like it.
Because
so
they
keep an
need
eye on
to
them.
free up a lot of spots. They have some top prospects, top prospects they're going to have to protect, like Xavier Edwards and some other guys on the 40-man. So we'll see. I don't.
Yeah, so I think that's something to keep an eye on, baseball fans. All right, so let's get into our free agent fiesta.
Okay, I don't like that, but okay. You're culturally appropriating our podcast.
I was totally not. Fiesta means party.
I know what fiesta means.
I was totally not. Totally not. Someday I'll have art here. We went and looked today.
Let's get into it before it's a free agent siesta.
Oh, okay.
That means nap, right?
I think so. Yeah, because they man, people do that. Like, there's a life where you take naps and then go back to work.
I take naps. I hate naps. I feel like I waste.
No, I don't like them either. I just like going to bed when I'm tired.
If I'm up. I'm not going to sleep.
Yeah, same. Okay, so let's get into this because I do think you're going to see a lot. I don't know that it happens in the next 2 weeks, but those winter meetings, like, that is kind of the kickoff for really free agent market. And I saw your tweet also, giving a lot of Twitter shout outs here, but about how, and I agree 100%. I wish they had a period, like an opening period, and like deer season. It opens here and it ends here.
That's why I loved cap. I don't like salary caps necessarily because I think it's stupid to put a limit on how much your star players can make. But they do a great job of that because if you're a team, you say, we know we want to spend up to the salary cap. And then you're like, well, if we don't go do it now, then we might not get the players we want within our salary cap. So in cap sports, they have incentive to go do it really quickly. In a sport like baseball where there is no salary cap, it's hard to incentivize spending. But I think it'd be really, really good for the sport if they had some deadlines for signings so fans know when to pay attention. Think about last year how fun it was before the lockout when we knew a bunch of guys were going to sign, and then right after the lockout we knew a bunch of guys were going to sign. That was really good for the sport, and I hope they figure out a way to do that in the future.
Okay, so are you keeping track of our predictions here, and then we'll just kind of see how we do?
So I have mine written down. I'll just write yours next to them. I'm going to throw you names.
Yep.
You're going to tell me your prediction, I'll tell you mine.
Oh, it's like one of those game shows, like where the answers are behind you and the person's giving you the clues. What's that? The pyramid game.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Put that down. Put that down. You're alerting the Illuminati or something on our YouTube page. Please put it down.
That's for Jay-Z and LeBron. All right.
Have you? Okay. I'm gonna save some of the good ones for last because I think those are a little bit more intriguing.
I feel like I'm ready for this. I feel like I've done my homework, and I feel like I won't get any of these right. But let's go.
My first one I have for you is Brandon Nimmo, probably the second best outfielder on the market.
Yeah, he goes back to the Mets.
I have the same.
Okay.
I just don't see anyone outbidding him. And maybe the Rockies, I could see it because they're in on him and they'll do something stupid with their money probably. But I think he goes back there because if you're Steve Cohen, why would you not bring him back? Yeah,
I do think I read he's very close with Chris Bryant, but it does appear that a lot of people are very close with Chris Bryant, which, hey, that says a lot to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
Except for people in St. Louis don't like Chris Bryant.
Well, he hates boring town. Hey, I'm in New Orleans now. St. Louis is a fucking boring town. I'm just kidding. I don't mean that. I love St. Louis.
Don't say that about my city, you bitch.
Well, you're in fucking Champaign, dude. You've never lived in you haven't lived in St. Louis one day in your life, and you get nervous and pee yourself every time you have to go to a Blues game and park outside.
I get nervous in public in general, but I still love my.
No, I'm kidding. I love St. Louis. I love it. I love this as a joke.
What's wrong? This is a St. Louis podcast. We're supposed to be doing the opposite of that.
It was a joke. It was an absolute
level
joke.
The playing field. I'm going to say fuck Chris Bryant. How about that?
It was a joke. Anyway, I believe Brandon Nimmo goes back to the Mets. All right, that's what I'll say.
All right, Clayton Kershaw was on here. Don't need to do that anymore. He's already gone back to the Dodgers.
Correct, which needed to happen.
That's what I had anyway.
Me too. Put that down. Huh?
Carlos Rodon is the next one I'm throwing at you.
Yeah, okay. I'm really intrigued by Carlos Rodon. I'm going to say he goes back to the Giants. I think, here's what I'm saying. You're going to see a theme through this. I think the Giants are going to spend a shit ton of money this offseason. I really do. That's been their MO. Have a couple down. I mean, they won the division running away in 2021. Down year this year, obviously the retirement of Buster Posey. They had some injuries out there. They lost Kevin Gausman. I just have a feeling that, and they have, first of all, San Francisco, top 10 market, maybe top 5 market in TV. They have money. They spend money. You know, people, sometimes they spend money. You're like, what happens? And all of a sudden, this guy's really good. I think Carlos Rodon goes back. I think he's obviously going to opt out. Did he opt out? Is that official? Did he go ahead and opt out? I don't know.
Yeah, he's
but
opted out.
okay, I think he goes back. I honestly believe he goes back to San Francisco. I really do. I think that if I'm a pitcher, like we saw what Gosman did in 21, we saw what Rodon did last year. There's something about that San Francisco magic, man, being a pitcher. There really is. We've seen the revitalization of Johnny Cueto. Like I just believe that that's a place. If I'm Carlos Rodon and I can get 25 mil, which I think
we saw the death of Johnny Cueto in San Francisco. We saw the revitalization in Chicago.
That's fair. He pitched pretty well out there, but that's fair.
He had his down.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Either way, we've seen guys go out there.
It's the Gabe Kapler analytics he's brought in that have really helped.
I think he's going back to San Francisco. I think
he goes to the Mets.
Okay.
I think they're going to lose Jacob deGrom. We'll talk about that later. And I think it's going to be a move by Steve Cohen to go get another guy because they're going to need him.
So you think he gets 30 mil if he goes to the Mets, right? Like
Cohen, he gets 30 mil no matter where he goes.
Okay, I was thinking 25 to 27. That was the range I was kind of looking at.
The market's too thin. He's
okay, that's fair. Hey, also shout out to him. He should. Like you and I have said this forever. Like get as much fucking money as you can. Like this career, especially as a professional athlete, you never know. So I hope he does. I hope he gets paid as much as he can, and I hope he goes to wherever he goes. I think it's going to be San Francisco. I'd much rather pitch in San Francisco, I think, than in New York. But we don't know. Like Rodon, hey, whatever.
Money talks.
I mean, it does.
Steve Cohen's got a lot of it. All right, so next another Mets-related pitcher that's going to be a theme here. Chris Bassett.
Yeah. Okay. This is one I was looking at earlier. I think he goes to the Yankees. I think he goes across town to the Yankees. I think that they could use another guy to go with Cole and Severino and the guy and Nestor. You know, I think that we saw their starting pitching. And I know that what was it? Tyon? Is it Tyon? Is that right? Who was there?
Tyon
was good, but I think they don't have a guy coming up the ranks. I think Chris Bassett goes across town to the Yankees, and that just feels like a Yankee move to me. That's my guess because I think that they need another guy. I'm a Chris Bassett fan, like I really am. I think he's been an underrated pitcher. Nobody talks about him. It seems like that's just me.
I think he goes back to the Mets.
Okay,
they're going to need him because Taijuan Walker's leaving. So that they really have some vacancies in that, and I think for them they might find it as a better solution to pay Bassett and deGrom and Rodon slightly more than they would just pay deGrom per year to just pay both of those guys.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's what I think Chris Bassett does. I think he goes back. I've heard some rumors that he really likes being there. He's good friends with Mark Canha. So that's where I think he goes, is back there.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. You ready for a big one?
Yeah.
Justin Verlander.
Back to Houston. I don't even think there's a question. Like, to me, there's not a question. It feels like he loves it down there. It feels like his wife loves him being down there. And say what you want, there is something to be said about people. Hey, we saw what happened with Tom Brady, right? Like, there is something to be said there. Also, he just feels like it's almost like I forget he pitched for the fucking Tigers. Like, he feels like the Astro, like the guy. I think when he goes into Cooperstown, he goes in with an Astros hat. No. I think they build.
No. He won an MVP with the Tigers.
I get it. I'm just saying it feels that way to me. I'm not saying that's what happens.
I guarantee he goes in a Tigers hat, but I think he'll go back to the Astros as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Or he just doesn't go in with a hat on. You don't have to do
How many years do you think he does another 1 year deal? You think he's
No, I think it's going to have to whoever gives him 2, I think it's going to have to at least be 2. And I think if someone offers him 3, that could be the difference in him going there and not.
Because that is the thing that would concern me if I'm the Astros. You've got a lot of guys that are probably coming up here soon that you are going to need to pay. Look at what the Braves have done. You look at what some of these other teams. I mean, I'm just intrigued.
I mean, theoretically,
I'm saying go back to the Astros.
People thought they had to pay Correa and Springer, and they just won a World Series at either of them.
So far, our off-season things are kind of boring. We're sending everybody back. Oh, I am at least. But go ahead.
I think you've moved almost everybody except for
Verlander
and Nemo.
No,
you've moved 2 of the 4. I've been.
No, he didn't. I said Rodon was going back to San Francisco.
Yeah, and then yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, that's on you. Okay,
guys, I want you all to pay attention that Caleb is trying to change my answers.
No, I have them written down. It's just okay, whatever.
You're like Dan Aykroyd in Spies Like Us with the patch up, trying to cheat and write the wrong answers.
The last pitcher on the market that we're going to be talking about today. There's some more, but we're only doing 15, so there's players that we're not talking about. Jacob deGrom.
I mean, if there's smoke, there's fire. He's going to Texas. They've got money. They've got money to spend. Their owners obviously have proven that they will spend money. They went out and got Seager and Simeon for a reason. There is a plan that they are building. He went to Stetson University. He's going to I don't even know if Stetson's in Texas. I just made
I
that
think it's
up.
in Carolina, isn't it?
Why? You know why I thought it was in Texas? Because isn't the Stetson hat like a?
Oh, it's in Florida. We were both wrong.
Okay, we weren't even close. But south. I think he's going to the Rangers. So that's what I'm saying.
I think he goes to the Rangers too, and I think it ends up being an absolutely catastrophic deal for the Rangers.
I mean, that would be very Texas Rangers. Like that would. I mean,
I think, like you said, the Rangers have a plan. No, they don't. Because what the hell are they doing?
All right.
Like you
I'm
can't
just saying.
build
I
a
feel
team
like
with three
when I
players.
say a plan, I feel like they're willing to spend money. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's like you're just throwing money at the wall and hoping it sticks. It seems like. I know who else.
Yeah,
I
but
think we're not talking about this guy. I don't believe we're not. But Joey Gallo, I hope he goes back to the Rangers. He really loves hitting there. That'd be great.
I do too.
I hope that happens.
I do too.
All right.
Anyway,
on
that's
to
my
position
pick.
Players.
All
Position
right.
players. We'll go with Josh Bell. Where do you think Josh Bell winds up?
Oh God. There is a lot again where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of talk about St. Louis. I don't know that he's a great.
What?
I don't.
Who said that?
Yeah, I've seen online. I've seen on the old Twitter sphere.
I haven't seen that.
I think Josh Bell goes to San Francisco. That's my. I told you. I think they're spending money. I think Josh Bell goes to San Francisco.
I never even thought of them. I guess that would make some sense. Brandon Belt's a free agent. They just released Longoria, so
yep,
that's definitely a fit. I am going back to the Padres. I think they need a first baseman, and I don't see anyone out there that they're going to go after. I think they'll just bring him back.
Okay, I mean that's fair. That could be. I just have a feeling, like I said, I have a feeling San Francisco is going to be one of those really active teams this year. So I could just see.
I wonder what Josh Bell's poor second half did to his market because he was really putting together a great year before that.
Yeah, I don't, and there are some places that guys go and it just doesn't work, which is kind of why I think he's leaving. I have seen people talk about St. Louis being a potential target for Josh Bell.
No reason.
I don't think so. I think it's San Francisco. I'm going to say San Francisco.
There's no reason to go with Josh Bell in my opinion.
Okay.
He's a good player, but I don't think he fits here. All right, one that's a little bit different, a guy that I didn't think we'd be talking about right now because I thought he'd get an extension, Jose Abreu.
Yeah, he's going to Miami. He's going to be a Marlin. I think that just makes so much sense. The Cuban community down there, he is very active in that community. I'm a big Jose Abreu fan. I know that park plays smaller than obviously where the White Sox. I think he ends up going to Miami. That's my prediction.
I've got the Baltimore Orioles getting him to DH and play first base and be with that young core.
Okay. I like that. I just have a feeling he's going to go to. I really do. I think he's going to go home. I think he's going to go to Miami. I really feel that way.
Well, he can't. There's not a team in Cuba.
You know what? Shut up.
Well, I didn't like anyone for him, and I wanted someone they might want a veteran presence to be able to pay for that and his bat. And I just liked Abreu in that market for him.
To be fair, I'd be happy with Miami or Baltimore. I think Miami fits the same bill that you just said with Baltimore. Like a guy who needs a veteran presence down there. You've got guys like Jazz. You've got Blade coming up. You've got that young core there. I think he fits. I think he fits really well at first base down there.
Yeah, he would. All right, we're gonna go to the lone catcher that I care to talk about. Shade at you, Vasquez and Maldonado. You are champions, but I will not be talking about you today. Wilson Contreras.
Okay, you're gonna hate me for this. I think he goes to the Cubs. I think he goes back to Chicago.
I don't, and every single beat reporter at Chicago thinks that bridge is coming.
Okay, I do. There's just not. Okay, here's the thing, dude. Like I looked around with Contreras. There aren't a lot of spots.
I've got one.
Okay, let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Detroit.
Okay, to go up with Baez.
They're looking for a catcher. And they're apparently they would give him more money than maybe he should.
They did it with Javi Baez, so that actually, you know what? I didn't even look at them. That's I don't know why I didn't even think about Detroit. That makes a lot of sense. That I like that. Can you scratch my answer out and put Detroit?
Great. So you're stealing my answer because it was better than yours. Okay, put that down on record.
The Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, well, stop saying that. That's like what he did in the movie. He was just cheating on a test, and I'm pretty sure that was Chevy Chase, not Dan Aykroyd. It was Chevy Chase. It wasn't even
whoever it was. It was the same movie. The same guy.
If you're gonna quote it 10 times, quote it correctly.
It was Chevy Chase. You're right. It was.
Detroit's a great fit for me. I think he'd do well there.
I
wonder if Miggy's gonna be back. That hasn't been announced yet, so hopefully that might be a draw for him as well to go play with Miggy for a year.
I thought he announced that he wasn't coming back.
He hasn't announced retirement yet.
Okay. All right. Next. Let's go next.
A guy with some big news just came out about 2 hours ago. I don't know if you saw it. Anthony Rizzo, where do you think he goes?
Yeah, he's going to Houston.
I agree, and I love that so much for them and for him.
So do
I
I.
hope that happens. Here's what I think is going to happen. I guess I'll talk about this later. If Aaron Judge leaves the New York Yankees, they're best friends. I didn't realize this. They're apparently like a pair. I didn't know that. I think if he leaves, that could piss off Anthony Rizzo enough to say, "I'm going to Houston. Who's going to give me a bag?" And oh my God, he'd be batting seventh in that lineup probably to space him out from Kyle Tucker, and
In
that team would
that
be nasty.
in that stadium. Like
That's one of
we
the
saw the
only ways.
rejuvenation tour for Anthony Rizzo this year at Yankee
And then
Stadium.
if they
Like if people
wanted,
keep talking St. Louis, he's not coming to St. Louis, folks. That man's gonna go hit bombs because he's trying to further a Hall of Fame career. Like he's trying to cement a potential Hall of Fame career.
everything I've heard about him is he wants to win really badly.
Yes.
I mean, if he goes to Houston, no one's beating that team
Oh,
again. So,
and also like you put him at first base with. I mean, he is so underrated defensively. Like people do talk about it. I don't want to
he's
say
very
nobody
good.
talks about it, but I do like feel people forget about that. Like that, he is very good defensively. And when you add to that, like Pena, Bregman, and Altuve, and now all of a sudden you got Rizzo over there at first base. Oh, that's dangerous, dude. That's very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I think Anthony Rizzo is one of the most underrated players in this decade.
Same.
To be quite honest,
Also, awesome dude. I'm
one
a
of the
big
most
Anthony
likable
Rizzo
human
fan.
beings ever. He has a great
Yes.
story if you want to go read up on it.
Yes.
Drafted
Love
by the
Anthony
Red
Rizzo.
Sox. God.
Jesus, what did you do?
I don't know. Had cancer, and then went to the Padres. Got traded to the Cubs and became a legend. So he has a great story.
Yep.
All right, let's get into some of the bigger names. Well, I guess that's a big name, but the least big name, I guess you could say, of the shortstops, Dansby Swanson.
Yeah, he's going back to Atlanta. Like it just makes. Here's the thing: it makes way too much sense to me simply because he's from down there. Like his whole thing is like Atlanta. Everything about him. Now that can change. We saw Freddie Free go out to L.A. And I know he's represented by the same guy who fucked up the Freddie Freeman thing. I don't think that happens again. I think they've done a great job down there of getting all of their core locked up. I think Dansby's part of that core. I don't know if they have an up and coming shortstop. So that means if you let Dansby walk,
Vaughn Grissom, he's a shortstop.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't think
he came up as a shortstop. They moved him.
I understand that, but what I've read with Grissom is they like him at either second base or in the outfield more than shortstop.
He's not playing second base because they have Ozzie Albies.
I understand, which means he's going to be in the outfield.
I don't think they bring him back. I think he goes to Seattle.
Okay, really?
I think they want some leadership. I think they would love his defense at shortstop. They've been talking about being in the shortstop market. I think he makes more sense for them than any of the other shortstops. And I think he'd be a great fit to bat right behind J-Rod and to be the leader of that team because apparently he's a great clubhouse guy. I really like that fit a lot in Seattle.
Okay, well, we're going to get to a shortstop later who I think is going to Seattle, but that's okay. I'm interested in you saying the Dansby Swanson thing. So, okay, I think he goes back to Atlanta.
I think Atlanta moves on. I think they move on and go after someone else, maybe.
Gold Glove shortstop who hit. I mean, it just seems to fit.
Okay, they let Freddie Freeman go.
You and I both. Right, I know. You're right.
Freddie Freeman. I mean, I love Dansby. He had a great year. He didn't have a Freddie Freeman year.
So here's the thing. Maybe this changes your entire dominoes, and I guess we'll get to that. But if he leaves, that changes the entire shortstop market.
Not for me. I don't think.
You think it's Vaughn Grissom?
I think Vaughn Grissom's their shortstop.
Okay. I don't see them doing that. I just don't. I think Vaughn Grissom's in left field. I think Dansby Swanson's a shortstop. So that's what I'll say.
I guess. I mean, they traded Christian Pache, and then they had Michael Harris step in. So, they develop talent like crazy. So I don't know. It depends on what they think. So second lowest shortstop, I guess we can say on the totem pole. Disrespectfully, because I think he's better than people give him credit for. Xander Bogaerts, what do you got?
I think he's one of the Cubs.
I got the same thing.
Okay.
Because I think they're the only one that's going to give him more than what he may want.
I do too. They let Javi walk. They've got money, right? I mean, if Wilson does walk, even though I think Wilson goes back, I could see them signing Wilson and Xavier. Yeah, you're right. I mean, what you're saying is right.
He's going to Detroit.
Huh? That's what you said, but because it didn't make sense, it really was a good thought.
Okay, make your mind up. Is he going to Chicago or Detroit?
Anyway, I think the X-Man takes the show on the road and ends up at Wrigley Field. I really do.
I think that's I love Xander. I don't know. Maybe he wants to win more than that, and he doesn't go to Chicago. I don't know, but that's where I have him as well. Because I do think Chicago would be dumb enough to way overpay just because they need a guy. They think to bring butts in the seats.
Okay,
and they don't know how to run that team. So, I'll get off my soapbox about them. Carlos Correa.
Okay, now
maybe the most talented shortstop on the market. Maybe you can make that argument.
He is. It's not close. The stats aren't close.
Trea
He has a
Turner
42 WAR at age 27, dude. That's 6 higher than Bryce Harper's was.
Okay, Carlos Correa is great. He's great. But if I were to rank my top players in baseball, Trea Turner would be higher on the list than Carlos Correa for me.
Okay, that's fine. He wouldn't be on mine. That's fine. I understand
I
it.
mean, you
I
can make
don't
an
agree with it.
argument.
Okay, I all along have said that he's going to the Mets to play third base next to Francisco Lindor. But for this, he's going to Seattle and they're moving to J.P. Crawford to second base.
I would. Seattle's like the lovable team, and you bring a heel in there. I don't know.
I don't think he's a heel out there. I think he fits in really well with J-Rod. I think he fits in with J.P. Crawford. I think he fits in with Ty France. Mitch, I think he fits in really well.
Him and Ty France could not be farther apart from who they are as humans.
That doesn't mean anything, dude. That means nothing.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think I could see Seattle definitely. They traded Noel V. Marte, which is maybe a reason why they're looking to get the shortstop market. I couldn't see him there, I guess, but maybe. I mean, that'd be a great move for them.
Yeah, like I said, also, like deep down, I think it's one of those weird moves that he ends up with the Mets, and he's playing third, and Lindor is playing short, but they're paying them both shortstop money. But I know you don't agree with that, so that's fine. So where do you think he's going?
He's going to play at Baltimore. They're going to give him a bag. They're going to have a guy to build around. And they're going to be able to say, Gunnar Henderson, you're playing third base every day. And when Jackson Holliday's up, we'll figure that out whenever that happens. But Correa is going to be their shortstop.
Okay. Interesting. You really like the Orioles to spend a lot of money this year. I mean,
I think they threw $300 million at him last offseason. And he didn't want to take it because let's be honest, Scott Boras had just signed him and there was a lot of logistics there. I think they're going to do it again. And I think he's going to take it.
Okay. So Trea Turner is our last one, I assume.
We have two more, but Trea Turner's our last shortstop.
Okay. Okay. I have said all along he's going to Philadelphia. So I'm going to stick to that. But if you really were to pin me down and make me put money on it, I think he goes back to LA. But my prediction is I think he's going to Philadelphia. I really do. I know you have said, oh, they only have so much money. Bullshit. Like one thing Dave Dombrowski doesn't care about is the luxury tax. He does not. They have the deep. It doesn't matter.
I mean, he doesn't.
I get it, but their owner doesn't care either, Caleb. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but that's the guy you should be talking
Didi's
about.
off. They've got guys who are coming off of
deGrom.
I'm telling you that they were this close to winning a World Series in Philly, which hasn't happened since the J-Roll Ryan Howard days. I just have a feeling that it's Dave Dombrowski. If that's going to be our guy, then Trea Turner is going to Philly. Also, best buds with Schwartz and Harper from all accounts. I don't know that. Not one of them have told me that. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah, I think he's going to the Phillies too. You did a lot of convincing for me to agree with you, but I agree he's going to the Phillies.
Yeah, you were vehement against me last time I said.
Well, I wanted to be a Cardinal at that point, but now I've come to terms with that not happening.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a Philly. And if he's not, Xander Bogaerts will be a Philly. So one of the two.
Yeah, that's good. I agree.
Because Dombrowski loves Xander Bogaerts. He the one that got him in Boston and loved him in Boston. And so Bogaerts, if depending on if Trea Turner goes back, Bogaerts will be a Philly. They're going to get they're going to get one.
One thing I could also say, it's not my official pick, but I could also see Correa. If Bogaerts goes to Philly, Correa going to the Cubs. I could also see that.
I almost put that. Don't you think Xander Bogaerts is a perfect Philly because he's not good defensively and he's a really good hitter?
Yeah. Although his metrics this year way improved.
Yeah. And
I don't know why.
Related and the metrics are weird. He was bad for 10 years. So I'm going to say.
And also, I just believe they signed Trevor Story not to play second base. Like.
He's playing second base, they said. He's got an arm problem, apparently.
Okay. All right. So who's our last one here?
Aaron Judge. Save the best for last, of course.
Yeah.
I'll go first on this one because I want to give.
Okay, please do.
I think the Yankees are going to do everything they can to bring him back, but I think everything they can is not as much as Farhan Zaidi is going to want to do in San Francisco, and I think he goes home.
Okay, well, I don't really need to say anything because I agree 100%. He was my last San Francisco Giant. It's Rodon. It's who was my other one? I had another
Josh
Giant.
Bell.
Josh Bell, and it's Aaron Judge. And the Yankees are in full meltdown mode. Can you imagine Yankee Twitter if Aaron Judge? Because I do believe that he goes home. I really do. The second team, honestly, I think the Yankees are playing for third. I think the Dodgers, if they lose Trea Turner, could be in that discussion. I really truly do. You got an outfield where obviously you've got Betts, but Belly and center. But and if Trea Turner leaves, you've got an opening with a lot of money. Like, and we
Yeah.
know that the Dodgers are going to spend money,
Well,
right?
I mean, not that much money's off
Like,
the books if he leaves, but yeah.
how weird is it that we just went through all of those free agents and we didn't mention the
I'm
fucking Dodgers once?
I'm making a bold prediction for the year right now. It's on record. I'm saying it right now. So don't discount this. I think the Dodgers are going to come back to the pack next year.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
you
they're
could say
going.
they
I
did
think
this year, even though they
I
won regular
they won
season.
111 games.
No,
most in
you
franchise
didn't
history.
let me finish. In the playoffs, they didn't do anything. Like, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
yeah,
like,
but that's every year. I'm saying in the regular season, the Dodgers are not going to be
okay,
the powerhouse that they've been the last 5 years.
okay.
I
Even
think
though
they're
they get
going to be
Walker
a
Buehler
really.
back,
He's not back. He has Tommy John surgery. He's out for almost a whole year.
I thought they said he'd be back in June
No,
because he was
I think he had
early,
Tommy
right?
John surgery in August.
Oh, I thought it was way early. No,
Yeah,
way earlier than that.
I mean, hold on.
Way earlier than that.
No, it wasn't. That's when he went out.
No.
Tommy John surgery. Okay, hold on. Okay, they say they don't think he's even going to be back. They said, well,
Oh,
Jeff Passan, Bueller will almost certainly miss the 2023 season
okay.
after
All right.
because having Tommy John for a second time takes way longer to
Oh,
recover.
that's right. I forgot it is his second time.
So I
Yeah.
think they fall back to the pack, and I just don't think their team's as talented as it has been. Look at their team.
Yep.
Their third base and their left side of the infield is in flux right now. You don't know what they're going to do with that. Are
Yeah.
they going to bring back Turner for less money? Who knows? Max Muncy's fallen from grace. I mean, really, all they have right now is Freddie and Mookie, where you pencil it in as that's our guy and Will Smith, as those are our three guys. What are they doing center field? Is Belly going to go? We don't know what they're going to do this year.
It's so funny that we went through our list and it's the boys who spend money. It's San Francisco, it's Philly, it's I mean Seattle. I had Seattle obviously there, but you look at it's the same teams, the Braves, whatever. But here's the thing with free agency. I mean, it's a crapshoot with free agency. It really is. And you and I've talked on here because obviously we're pro Cardinal podcast, but I think Mozeliak is going to spend the money via trade. I still believe that. I don't know where it's coming from. I really honestly don't. I don't think anybody does. And you said last week maybe he doesn't know. But I do think that's where it comes from. And I think that's not a bad move. Like when you've got this kind of organizational depth, you can't keep them all. You can't keep them all. As much as we'd love to and play fantasy baseball and have them all on that 35-man roster or whatever on your fantasy team or 20, whatever you have. You just can't do it. You can't do it, and you can't sub them all in. So I think that's going to be interesting. But I'm with you on Judge. Okay, let me ask you two more guys that weren't on your list.
Okay.
All right, Jock Peterson.
San Francisco, he takes the qualifying offer.
Same. Agreed. See, I thought that was another one that I was thinking of. Hold on, there was one more that I was looking at. Whatever. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. There was another guy I was looking at the other day that I wanted to ask you about. Now I completely forgot who it was.
Yeah,
but
Jock Peterson just got offered $19-point-something million. Yeah. Why would he not take that?
And I also believe like I said, I think San Francisco is going to spend a buttload of money in the offseason. It just feels like it's one of those years.
You know why they agree. If you guys want another reason other than the fact that their team was very bad last year, well, compared to what we thought they were going to be, they had the lowest attendance in the history of that ballpark last year.
Yep. Yeah.
They're going to want to get that up. So they're going to spend some money to make that happen. And who's a better attraction in baseball right now than Aaron Judge? There's not one.
Yeah. And Zahidi, we know he's going to spend money. We know he's going to spend money.
Yeah, who would be surprised if Ohtani's there next year? So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point because I was thinking about that. Like, you go Judge if you know that Ohtani might be there. But, I think that's an interesting thought. That what if they had them both?
I can't wait for the Ohtani free agency. That's going to be crazy. I'm so excited for that.
It's going to be I think he gets traded at the trade deadline, by the way.
No, he should. He won't. That organization sucks. They're stupid.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
All
right. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Anything else you need to talk about?
No, I think we covered it. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. We're going to see some trades go down the next. As you see this, they might have already gone down. But the Rays will be trading some people because they need to. You may see the Cardinals get rid of some people if they want to add some people to the 40-man. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Then I don't know when we're going to have another podcast, but Friday is the tender deadline, I believe, to give them
I think next weekend.
Not tender them.
When you're down here.
There'll be some things to talk about then probably because they're going to not.
Here's what will happen. People. As soon as we stop recording, 47 massive transactions will happen.
No, I'm going to be on the plane and we're going to get like Dalton Varsho and Jake McCarthy or something crazy.
Couple things I do want to say. Like everybody, give their T's and P's to Caleb for his plane ride down here to know it's an hour and a half. You're literally going to get
hour
up
50
there.
minutes.
You're gonna get right into the hangover. You're gonna be just into it, and next thing you know, you're gonna be landing.
I think I'm downloading Gangs in New York so I can be enthralled in it and not even know that.
Why? You won't even get through it.
I know, exactly. So by the time it gets good, I'll be landing, so I won't want to be landing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like Gangs in New York, I love
a mental
great movie,
thing.
but the first 40 minutes, not 30 minutes, kind of slow.
The first 15 minutes of that movie was one of the best openings of all time.
I agree, but then it gets kind of slow. That's what I'm saying. Like outside of
I love that movie. And it's gonna be like when we start getting good, I don't want to stop watching it, but then I'm gonna be landing. So it's like a mental thing for me to where I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be.
We're in the middle of getting your room ready, so we're getting close.
Well, hopefully I make it. I'm 50-50.
Also, second thing that I think we ought to say, hey, shout out to you guys, our listeners, our fans, the people who support us, our subscriptions have almost tripled in the last week. Hey, look at that. That's pretty awesome. And we're approaching 1,000 downloads on our last two podcasts. That's pretty fantastic for two guys who literally are talking to you guys from a jail cell.
From jail cells, not the same one.
Jail cells. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. I guess now's a good time.
Thank you.
To remind you, if you're watching this on YouTube, yeah, thank you, first off.
Yes.
Just subscribe. It is free. It doesn't do anything but help us out. And leave a like, please, and a comment, because we want to hear from you guys.
Did you see all the comments we've been getting?
Yeah. Leave a comment of where you think these guys are going to go and why we're stupid and wrong.
Yeah. We love to interact with you guys. So, like, it's great to have that happen. Like, that's awesome. Hey, who knows? Who knows? Just two little Midwest guys like us.
Let's not get too sentimental on the podcast. We have had 1,000 views in the last 3 days. So
your mom made shepherd's pie last night, so I'm gonna go eat some leftovers.
That sounds gross. I don't know what that is.
Oh, dude, it was fire. It was so good.
All right, well, I don't have anything else unless you do. Do you have anything I will say, people are getting really jacked up about the offseason, obviously, because they're forgetting how the offseason works in baseball. Just calm down. Nothing's gonna happen until the winter meetings, at least with our team, because John Mozeliak will let the market set itself and then he'll decide what he wants to do. He's not going to jump the gun here in November probably at all to make a move. So I will say December 5th is the date you should circle on your calendar as when to start really getting excited about what the Cardinals may be doing.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And sometimes for John Mozeliak, it's a nap and see what happens. Wake up after it's done. Say, hey, did I miss anything? Oh, we could have Correa for 1 year, $35 million, and passed on him. So they did last year.
Well, that's not a deal that the Cardinals have ever made. So
that should be a deal you make. I really hope that happens this year. I will. Some people have linked Justin Verlander to the Cardinals. Not going to happen. Those people don't know how the Cardinals operate.
No.
I don't understand. Also, one more thing before we go. Matt Carpenter.
Good Lord. You just said you had nothing.
This is relevant. Matt Carpenter should not be a Cardinal next year.
No.
Ken Rosenthal just said.
Stop it. Get it out. Get it out of here. Get it out. Get it out of here.
No more. And someone said Michael Walker too. No more. Just stop. Get new Cardinals that are better than the old Cardinals. No more.
Also, by the way, hey,
man, I love you.
Add Aledmus Diaz to that because people are going crazy about that also.
Why would we want Aledmus Diaz?
Don't know, because he played here before, evidently, and we need him back.
Come out of retirement.
We're going to get Grichuk. We're going to get Aledmus Diaz. We're going to get Michael Walker, Matt Carpenter. That's who we got.
Yeah,
I don't understand the Cardinal fans. I don't understand it.
Like, I get it if it's Albert. I love Matt Carpenter. He's not Albert Pujols.
No.
Michael Walker's
not
even Matt Carpenter. So, stop.
All right. Matt Carpenter needs to go back to the Yankees, by the way.
Yes, please. Matt, go get a bag with the Yankees after they break out for losing Anthony Rizzo.
Bingo. All right. The other thing that we didn't that one of the teams that I wanted to fit in, but it couldn't, were the Guardians. I think they're going to be in that second to third tier market.
Maybe they get
kind of like the Cardinals, to be fair. I think that's I just don't. Brandon Nimmo would be a great fit there. He really would. I just don't see them spend that kind of money.
Maybe they go get Sean Murphy for that.
Because I think one thing they would love is to move Quan back to the infield. I think that's
Quan.
Isn't that what I read, that they wanted to move him back somewhere?
No, Stephen Kwan's a Gold Glove left fielder. They're not moving.
Yeah, but I thought I read on one of their things that they wanted to move him.
No.
But that doesn't make sense. See, this is what I thought, because they got Rosario, they got Jimenez, they got J Ram and
Stephen Kwan throws left-handed, you jackass.
Then what did I read?
I don't know. Maybe
Did he play first
you had a
base?
stroke. But Stephen Kwan has been an outfield. He played center field when he was at Oregon State.
That's what I thought. Okay, all I'm telling you is that
you thought he played second base.
No, I didn't. I didn't mean second base. I'm saying I heard I'm telling you that they wanted to move him from left field. Now, maybe that's the center field. Maybe that's what I read.
Are you thinking of Ahmed Rosario from 5 years ago, from 2 years ago?
Maybe what I read was they wanted to move him because it didn't make sense to me. But maybe they wanted to move him from left field to center field. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Or maybe they said they want to move Josh Naylor back to first base. That's a possibility.
No, it was a
Kwan move. I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't read anything. You might have.
I did. It was on Twitter. I saw it on one of the Guardians pages
today. How much have you made up on this podcast today?
Huh?
Stephen Kwan has never been an infielder.
No, I didn't mean the infield. I just meant that they wanted to move him.
You didn't even know he threw left-handed. I don't know what you're on about.
But I did mean that they wanted to move him to that's all I read. Maybe they meant center field. Like I said, I stopped reading at some point and I saw move back to, and I thought maybe they thought infield, but I did not know he threw left-handed. So I did learn something today.
Stephen Kwan batted .330 with an .850 OPS last year, probably. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
No, .920 OPS. Oh God, he was a stud in center field, not at second base.
Maybe they want to move. That's what it was, and it was to move him to center. My main point was that they wanted to move him back to another position, and I assume that's center field.
Center field when they have the best defensive center field in baseball.
Yeah, because he has like a 600 OPS. Not even.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever. Either way, he doesn't play infield.
All right, let's get out of here.
How many lies have you told today? That's what I want to know.
No lies. That's not a lie. I really seriously read that Kwan that it was, and again, it was a thing that said they would like to see Kwan move to, and I really got bored and stopped reading. If we're going to be honest, I stopped reading.
They want Andres Jimenez to go play center field and then move Kwan to second base.
That was what it said. I was filling in blanks that I wasn't sure what I was talking about because I got bored with the tweet.
You didn't think, oh wait, Jimenez, Rosario, Ramirez. Yeah, let's move our Gold Glover today.
Well, it did sound weird to me. I didn't understand it, but it had to be center field. I would
assume it would sound weird.
It had to be center field. That's all I can say.
Maybe.
That's all I can say.
Probably not, but maybe. All right.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
let's get out of here.
Yep. All right. Once again, thank you, everybody. We greatly appreciate you guys. We already went over where you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. At the Hard Nine Pod. I'm still struggling getting used to saying that. You can find us on Twitter at Hard Nine Pod. We're out there again, like Caleb said. Give us a like, and a subscription, subscribe to our YouTube page. We greatly appreciate that. Comment, like he said, leave us. Where do you think these guys are going? We'd love to hear from you. Caleb will be down here in the 504 in just a few days. His first plane ride across the Midwest plains and down here south. So we'll see you soon. Everybody take care. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.